YouTube fam? It's your girl Becca Doll, and welcome to my channel. Anyways, I haven't recorded in quite some time. If you're new here, I am a single mom of two girls who am trying to build multiple streams of income, get out of working in the nightlife, and I am on here to kind of like tell my story. And I also struggle with mental health issues, PTSD, anxiety, ADHD, and depression. And I actually haven't recorded in a while because I am battling my mental health. So I'm going to try to get through this video without crying, but I definitely want to give you guys an update and tell you guys what's been going on. So if y'all are ready for this. Anyways, my last video, I haven't even posted yet, but that I feel like I was saying the same thing, and that was kind of like the beginning of when things like started to really go sideways for me. I had kind of taken a break over the holidays, and I got very distracted. So Facebook started this program called Facebook Reels, and I got invited to the program, and it's a lot of money. And I put a lot of like attention and focus into that. And I know when my mental health is going in a bad direction, I start calling into work, and it's hard for me to complete tasks, and I spend a lot of time in my bed or in my room. Now, I 100% take care of my animals, and I take care of my kids and stuff like that, but I'll have trouble like keeping the house together and things like that, and I feel like everything seems so difficult. I'm gonna straighten my hair per usual while I talk to y'all. Y'all know I stay busy, but so I could notice it was kind of coming on. I did not realize I was gonna go through this mental health phase or cycle. Like I've told you before, it's like a roller coaster, you know. And I was gonna start getting kicked in the coonannies or whatever you call it, nuts, don't have any nuts, but whatever, by life. And it all just like compiled upon me, and I'm just like super struggling with it. So if you have watched my videos before, then you know. If you're part of the Boss Up crew, then you know. We just moved back into our house in November. It's now Super Bowl, February 13th. So, in November, we moved back into our home. We quickly, we had been displaced from a tornado. Not once, but twice. And I really helped the landlords. Like, they never came and checked on us. They didn't do any of that stuff. And at the time, I think I was just, like, in survival mode. Now I know better. But, I hired all the contractors, and I managed everything. And like, as I look back on it, just in general, before I got this place, there was a lot of red flags that I ignored. And I won't let it happen again. For years, I owned my own home, and I sold it when I was pregnant with my little one, Jazzy, whose birthday we celebrated right when we moved back in. So we moved back into the house pretty quickly. Everything here is gross. It was disgusting. We had to replace everything because, like, if you just leave a house abandoned for 6 months, I mean, it gets nasty. And then we would, like, run in and out the house, grab the stuff that we needed and leave because there was mold in the house, and it was making me and Jazzy break out in hives. So then all that happens at the beginning of November. I start to get a little bit more settled in. I start to get in a routine of like unpacking and organizing, and I was putting like getting rid of junk and like organizing our stuff in like plastic bins in the garage really neatly, and I was gonna just kind of take my time with it because also tax season was approaching, and I do taxes, so my plate's just getting even more full as we go. So and Christmas, you know, is right around the corner. So on December 20th, me and the landlord discussed a lease. A little before that, they had sent me a lease, and while I was not living in the house, there was became some conflict between us because their plumbing was busted basically from the tornado, and they wanted me to pay like the water bills and all this stuff from it being busted, and I was not about to do that. It was not my fault. It was not water that I used. I felt that that really fell on their responsibilities. I had to buy like a T-tool and turn the water off and on till it completely busted, and just the expenses that were incurred from that. And rent, like, your house is uninhabitable, like, I didn't feel like I owed it. So that's when tension started to kind of rise between me and the landlord. So while I was displaced, I looked at buying a home, renting a home. Everybody knows the real estate market's nuts right now, and everything's really expensive. So I really, really held on to the fact that these people were going to fix this house, and they wanted to sell it to me. They only wanted to pay off their mortgage. It was a really cool deal. I was really excited to remodel it. I wanted to do something really cool. I'm not going to go into details of what I'm going to do, because you know how they always say, like, keep your goals to yourself and don't tell everybody everything? I always felt like I should share my goals and what I'm working on, because you never know who it might help or it might inspire or whatever. But Lord, I kind of feel like I told the landlord my goals and what I wanted to do with this house. I helped them direct them to resources because their insurance didn't want to pay for the water being busted, because they didn't realize it till months later. Had they came up here and met with their own insurance adjuster and maybe did their own research themselves, they only have 2 rental properties, I believe, and if not, it's just one. So I never in a million years would let a single mom with 2 girls get hit by an E4, 5, whatever it was, tornado on the ground for 30 minutes and never come check on them, never see if they're okay. Nothing. If anything, I was being cussed out all the time. I had been threatened. Oh, you can just get out of the house, the effing house. You're never going to see your deposit. Because the husband, the landlord, like, cannot control his temper. He just, like, will fly off the handle. Now they've made Becky fly off the handle because, which I tell you all that leading up to, like, where we got to with this lease, right? So I was holding out for 6 months, staying at my parents' house with 2 kids in 1 bedroom, living out of plastic bins. That was a super, super rough time. And I was waiting for, them to fix the house, let us move back in. I was planning on buying the house. I was planning on renovating it and things like that. And I kind of shared probably too much details with them. I explained to them how they could get the SBA money, because FEMA didn't consider this tornado a disaster here. So you had to apply for SBA money. Most landlords in Newnan got that money and shared it with their tenants, because their tenants are really the ones who lost time at work and all those things. Like, when I lived with my parents, I couldn't work as much because my kids are already running around all the time, and that's just a lot on them, you know what I mean? So anyways, that's where the tension kind of started. And I probably just should have moved on. But I waited. I was really excited. I had faith in these people. I really thought they were good people. But what they did to me, y'all, was so dirty. Like, I don't ever want to see the bad in people, but it's so hard not to. Like, I just look back on my whole experience with this, and I, like, would never do this to anybody. Anybody, ever. I would never leave them alone to deal with it. I would never expect them to meet with my adjusters. I would never expect them to do the research and hire everybody to work on my house. I especially wouldn't cuss them out. Any paperwork I filled out, like, for assistance, for tornado assistance, they refused to fill it out on several occasions. They just became very, very unhelpful, but I didn't see it in the moment. And that happens to us all the time as people. Like, sometimes things are so close in on us and in our face, we can't really see the bigger picture. I've learned a lot from it. Nobody will ever do this to me ever again. And I don't know if I'll ever rent a house again, because they have thrown it in my face, like, several times, that I don't have any rights because I'm a tenant, and that's what I get for not owning my own home and stuff like that. Like, little do they know, I owned my own home for 10 years. I had to sell my home when I had my baby. That was a sacrifice I chose to make to bring that child into this world. So, you landlords, for all your nasty little sly remarks about stuff like that, like, I'm not an idiot. I'm not less of a person because I was renting a house. Like, come on. And the lady that said it to me doesn't even own this house. It's not even in her name. It's in her husband's name. Anyway, so December 20th, we go over the lease. And since there was that's why I told you the backstory about the tension. Since there was once tension and they were trying to hold me liable for the mold and for the water and all these different things, I reached out to an attorney, and the attorney went over my lease and was like, this lease is crap. They have you liable for everything. I don't even think it would be enforceable in court. Don't ever sign a lease like this again. And let me go over all your contracts going forward. Shout out to you. To my lawyer for that. Thank you so much. And I read the Georgia Tenant Landlord Handbook inside and out several times. I've stayed up. I've lost so many hours of sleep. Days of anxiety and stuff, like, over this whole situation. So when they gave me the new lease, it had me liable for every part of their house. From, like, not saying I caused the damage. Like, if their refrigerator breaks, it's my fault. If their water heater breaks, it's my fault. If their plumbing breaks, it's my fault. I'm not signing that. That's messed up. I learned that. I already learned that in the beginning. We had also discussed that I was going to be able to purchase the home at any point in time. So that's like a separate contract that would go in addition with my lease. And it would give me, like, first right to purchase, right? So when I told her I was not going to sign that lease and stuff like that, I could tell something was up. And she was like, I'm not typing up a new one, blah, blah, blah. We are going to get a home warranty. And at that point, I will place in there that the home warranty is going to cover those things so that we don't run into this problem again of, like me having to handle the legwork or them having to pay to fix so many things. Because obviously they didn't have the proper insurance coverage and stuff like that for this storm. It's another little tidbit, you guys. A lot of people, I realized during this tornado, did not have proper coverage on their homes and or didn't know what was in their insurance policies and really got screwed over. So, it's best you have a specialist and you get somebody to help you with those kinds of things because you don't want to end up in that situation. I feel for the landlord. I felt very bad. That's why I helped, because here they are with this, like, $35,000 like issue that is clearly caused by the tornado, and their insurance won't cover it, which is crazy. It's not like they did something wrong. It was a freaking natural disaster, right? It was a freak thing. For that tornado to even hit here for that long is just insane in itself. So that's one reason I was so helpful. Plus, if you know me, I'm glutton for punishment because I love everybody and I think the best of people, and yeah, I tend to let people take advantage of me. And every time I think I have created better boundaries and stuff like that, the dear Lord comes around to remind me, Becca, you gotta do better. You gotta do better. So I tell her I don't want to sign this lease, right? And she said she's getting the home warranty, blah, blah, blah. So I'm waiting for her to send that over to me so that we can, move forward. During this time, I'm still paying rent and stuff like that. I've never stopped paying rent. I've been late a couple times on rent, but I've never stopped paying it. And I've realized one reason the rent goes through late, which I've got to go to the bank in the morning and figure this out. Like, I'll send it, and then it shows that they get it, like, 3 days later, and it's through Zelle. Like, I Zelle people all the time, and they get it instantly, so I really don't know what that's about. But I am going to go to the bank, just to cover my tracks. So, December 20th, right? I could tell she was upset that I wanted a new lease. And so I straight up asked her, do you want us to stay in this house? And this is in writing and text messages. And do you want to sell me this home? And she said, yes, absolutely. Okay. we continue with Christmas, we continue unpacking and trying to rebuild our lives. It is extremely, extremely hard when your life gets disrupted in that manner. And unless you have been through it, there is no way you could possibly understand. For them, they stayed where they were living, out of sight, out of mind. It did not affect them. They have no idea what. First off, just how freaking traumatic it is. I was with my baby. I absolutely would not expect them to go find somewhere else to live. I get that. Totally get it. What I don't get is, first off, on December 20th, you knew you were coming back to remodel this house. Like, come on. Come on, y'all. Leave something in the comments below. If I'm wrong, let me know what y'all think about it. But I do not believe that between December 20th and January 20th, they suddenly had this job that moved them back to Georgia in this relocation. I don't believe that whatsoever. I believe they knew what they were doing, and they failed to tell me. I don't think they had any regards or concern or anything for me and my children or how it would affect us. I just wish that I would have gotten a phone call, some compassion, like, look, this is what's going on. We're going to have to come back to Georgia. I know you stuck it out with us through this whole time till we fixed our house. I feel really, really bad. I know it looks like we misled you. Like something, some sort of explanation. It's not like we didn't talk on the phone to begin with. I mean, I've helped them with family things and stuff like that. Anyways, that's neither here nor there, but it is what it is. Now we have to move again. And on top of it all, like, there's been a lot of health issues in our family. I missed a lot of work. My mental health has been crashing, which I started avoidance behavior again, which is, calling into work and stuff like that, and just really got off track. And so playing catch up financially is really hard. And then nobody at our job, my main source of income at where I bartend, nobody really knows if we're going to remain open or anything like that. So I don't know if I'm going to have my main source of income anymore. I don't know where we're going to live. I don't know. I do not want to go rent somewhere. We can't go back to my parents. That was way too stressful on everybody. My parents have their own stuff they're dealing with. So y'all, I feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders. I've been extremely miserable lately. Thank you to the people who have checked on me. And it's been like the most random people. Like a cook at work last night, like, texted me on the way home to make sure I was okay. And then there's people you talk to on the phone every day, or they call you like when they have time for you, or they want you to hang out with them or something like that, but like they didn't really like come check on me or anything like that, and I've expressed to them like I'm not okay. Shout out to my best friend Heather. She never denies my phone calls. I'm sure it's really hard to be best friends with somebody that struggles with stuff like this. And I believe in God. That's my faith. I believe that something very beautiful is going to come out of this, and that the reason I'm going through these traumatic experiences back to back to back is for a greater purpose, bigger than me and bigger than I'll understand. And I do feel like it's not meant for us to live in this house. It wasn't meant for me to purchase. And I believe God has a plan for me. And he's just moving my life in a different direction. And I think you have to sometimes get out of your comfort zone. And that's what, I feel like is happening in my life to, have growth. So it's just been one thing after another. And sorry for crying on here, but I told you I'm always going to keep it real, 100. One thing I'm proud of is, like I said, I usually stop and start avoiding work and stuff like that, and stuff piles up on me. And this time I've been fighting through it and continuing to go to work, and probably embarrassing myself because everybody can tell that there's something really wrong. that I'm extremely unhappy. And it's because I don't have time with my kids because I have to work so much. I have to figure all this stuff out at one time. I thought I had a plan and I had goals and I had things that I wanted to do, and I fell in love with creating content and stuff like that, and everything just blew up in my face, and I had to switch gears and get back into survival mode. And like I've mentioned before on this channel, PTSD is when you've been through like really, really traumatic experiences, and I've been through tons of them, and a lot back to back to back to back, and your body is constantly triggering fight or flight or fight, like survival mode. And that's what is happening is, you know, I'm in survival mode, and anybody in my position would feel the same way. And I don't wish any harm on these landlords. I just think it just makes it hard for me to live in this world, that people can do other people in that manner. And I don't expect them to like let us stay here or, you know, stick by their word, but some communication, a phone call, not trying to like come after me and make my life harder. Like, hey, is there anything we could do to help you? You know, did you need, you know, I know you're a single mom, you know, can our husband help you, or family that lives there help you move some stuff? Like, maybe like how much time do you need? Anything. Or hey, I saw these few rental places, or I know this person's trying to sell a house, or do you need us to write you a referral? Anything. But it's became like the complete opposite. And if you know me, I ain't taking shit. I don't know if I can say that in here, from anybody. I don't care who you are. I'm gonna stand up for myself. Thank goodness when they came over with the builders and contractors, Heather stayed on the phone with me, so she was like, bite your tongue, bite your tongue, bite your tongue. Because you know, I'm not a force to be reckoned with, because I'm not going to take crap from people. And I feel like this rocks my kids' world. If it was just me, whatever, you know what I'm saying, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I'm just thinking about that. I just feel so bad as a mom about the instability that it's bringing on my kids. So I made it through the video. I didn't ruin my makeup completely. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel and supporting me. Please share these videos. Turn your notifications on. Subscribe to my channel. I really love doing this. I would love to do this full time. I have stories like for days on days on days. And I really, really want to take these ugly things that I've gone through. Like, there's no way I'm going through these things and it doesn't have a purpose greater than me. And I want to take these ugly, horrible times in my life and turn them into something beautiful. And I just want to keep creating content. I really, really love doing it. I also love learning about money and how to make money on the internet, or just how finances work in general, whether it's life insurance or network marketing or virtual currency. It's tax season. I am a tax preparer. I work at Trinity Tax Services with Tammy Arnold. She's been in business for like 33 years, 23 years. I might have gotten that messed up. She is the bomb. She is the best, most educated. I just love being around her. I wasn't able to like commit to her time-wise as much as I usually do because all this fell in my lap, and she has been very, very encouraging and has told me that she can, you know, see a shift in me, and she can tell that my time is coming. And I told her that means a lot, because sometimes I just like want to give up. I mean, I asked a good friend that last night. I said, do you ever just want to give up on life? I said, if I didn't have these kids, I would just throw in the towel. Like, this can't be life. Like, I'm always fighting for survival. Like, and I can't help but feel like other people aren't going through this stuff. You know, like, people aren't having anaphylactic shock and almost dying and then getting hit by a tornado and going through domestic violence and being R-word as a child. And I don't know why me. I don't run the streets, and I don't have like reckless behavior, so it's not like these things are happening because I'm out creating these things. I don't even date, for Christ's sakes. And I know y'all could tell, I know I need my hair done. Denise, I'll be hitting you up soon, but I getting my nails done, all that good stuff. But like I said, I sacrifice for my kids. They come first. Me buying us a new house and getting us relocated is, the number one priority. I also want to take good care of my tax clients. I've also done a disservice to some of my other business partners because I have been consumed with this. And this is just the biggest problem. There's been plenty of other problems going on. So, yeah, y'all keep me in your thoughts. Lift each other up. Remember this. There's one thing I want y'all to take away from this, right? When you go out into the world or in your home or your school or your teams or I don't know, wherever you go, whatever you do, you have no clue what battle somebody is fighting, and how what you say to them or how you treat them can make such a difference in their life, positive or negative. And maybe just communicate with people, give them a chance to explain themselves. People don't intentionally try to screw over people, or, I don't know. Not everybody is evil, right? So there are still good people in the world. Last of the dying breed, gang, gang. There are still good people in the world. So don't become so jaded. Definitely be aware of how people can be and how twisted they can be and stuff like that, but don't ever let it change you, because I know my blessings are going to come back tenfold. They always do. But for those of you who can become impatient with people, or you get angry over like someone at the grocery store having an attitude, you don't know what that person just went through. Their mom may have just died, their dog may have just died, their kid could have just overdosed. You never know what someone's going through. So put a smile on somebody else's face. That would make me really happy. Maybe share some of your stories down in the comments below, how in the next week or so you guys make somebody else's day. So that's all I got for y'all. Please join me on all my other social media platforms. Like I told you, Facebook Reels is paying me the most right now. So in the bio is, or description box is the links to all my social media. Please go watch my Reels, share them. I'm pretty sure that's how the algorithm works, like them and stuff like that. And I think that's how I can get more views and keep doing what I love doing. So I love you all. Peace and chicken grease. Have a great day.